Hello and welcome to week 3 of Shifting Gears. This week we are covering syllabi and schedules. Specifically, we'll be covering how to read a syllabus and what are the sections you'll be looking at, and then adjusting to your new schedule. So here we go, starting with reading a syllabus. So many students want to know, what is a syllabus? Generally, your high school classes did not have a syllabus that you utilized. A syllabus is a document provided on the first day of class. Maybe you even would get it prior to going to class. It's an outline of the subjects that a course is going to study or the teacher is going to be covering in that course. And it also sets the stage for course development and management. So it's essentially your playbook for what's going to happen during that course. And it's very important to read over that syllabus. Usually the first day of colleges or of college courses. At my college, we affectionately called the first day of classes syllabus day because most of the instructors spent just that first day looking over the syllabus and getting everybody acclimated. And very rarely did we go over any actual material. However, very much depends on the university and their expectations, whether or not you may actually wind up going straight into course material your first day. Otherwise, you might just be looking at that syllabus and getting some acclimation to what's going on and what will be happening in your course. However, if your instructor spends time going over it word for word or not, you should also spend some time after class going over that syllabus because it's important for you to be very familiar with it. Because every instructor has a little bit of a different syllabus. There's a lot of things that will be very familiar, but there'll be some parts that are very specific to that course, and you're going to want to make sure you're familiar with them and maybe even mark some things down in your planner or on your digital calendar so you make sure you don't miss anything. So here are the key elements, the first 4 key elements to a syllabus. The first thing is contact information. This is at the top of the syllabus. This will include the instructor's email address, their phone number, as well as your class time and location. And it will also include your instructor's office hours and their location of their office. You will likely have to email your instructor some assignments at some point, or if you have questions. So it's a good idea to go ahead and save your instructor's email address in your contacts in your email so that it becomes something easily you can just go ahead and send an email right off the bat when you need to, and you don't have to look for your syllabus later to find your instructor's email address. But those office hours are really crucial. Office hours are a time where an instructor has basically free time where they are only in their office to see students and answer questions. So maybe there's a concept you didn't understand in class that you would like them to go over more with you, or you missed something in class and you need to fill in the blanks in your notes. Or maybe you would like to discuss an assignment that you didn't do well on and you really would like their feedback and how you could be doing better. Office hours are the time where you should be doing that. So you figure out where their office is and what time they have their office hours. Some instructors will have only, an hour or 2 a week available, depends on their course load. Other office hours will be available for an instructor several times a week, several hours a week. Just really depends on that instructor. But you may have to make also special arrangements because you may find out that instructor, their office hours collides with your biology class. So if you do realize that you cannot go to any of the office hours of the instructor, that's when you email that instructor, be very clear with them, and send a very mature, classy email to them. Dear Dr. Johnson, I would like to set up a time to meet with you. I had plans to come see you during your office hours. However, my biology class meets at that time and I'm unable to come see you. Is there a time that we can set up where that would fit both of our schedules? Office hours are a crucial time. And you should definitely, at some point in the first 3 to 4 weeks, make sure you go see your instructors, all of your instructors during their office hours, just so that you show face and you show that you're interested in the class. It's just kind of a pro tip there. Next, you'll have a brief description of the course. In the course description, this will be in paragraph form. It will be a summary of the course, and we'll have the topics that are going to be covered, the reason why the course is important, and we have 1 to 2, maybe 3 paragraphs. This is often the same description that is used in the course guide or the course catalog that the university uses. Follow that by that course description is the objectives or the outcomes section. This is essentially, what are the goals? What are the things that you're going to be learning that you, by the end of the semester or the term, that you're going to be walking away saying, I understand these 5 concepts very well, or I'm going to gain these 5 skills. So objectives are an important thing because that's something you'll be able to look back and say, now have I mastered these concepts? Methodology for the class is, how will you be learning through the class? So now we deal with things like some classes are face-to-face, some are online, some are hybrid, which means you do part of it in person and some online. And then how are assignments dealt with? How many times, how often are you going to be reading? Are there quizzes and exams? Are there writing assignments or projects? Things like that. So basically, how are you going to be doing the bulk of your learning? All right, here are a few more areas that you may see on a syllabus. Some of these are the grading criteria and the grading computation, very important things to look at. Grading criteria is the guidelines on how to complete your work. So if the instructor has any things that says, in order for you to complete your work and be given proper credit, you have to do the following. This would be in the grading criteria. So if you are going to be writing a lot of papers and it says that you must have all of your sources in MLA format, this is where it will be in the grading format, in the grading criteria, things like that. So pay attention to those things because they may not show up on the assignments because it's in the syllabus. So basically something that is going to be overall on every assignment that you do, rather than putting those in the directions for every writing assignment that you do, they will put those in the grading criteria. So basically write it down once so they don't have to write it down every time. So check out grading criteria. Then there's grade computation, which is basically how are your grades going to be collected? So you're doing assignments, but they're really not a whole lot, they're not really worth a whole lot. You may find out that you are going to have tests, and the total amount of the tests is really going to equal 40% of your grade once you complete all those tests. So you need to make sure that you study for your tests, because the 3 tests you take will make up 40% of your grade, and then there'll be 3 writing assignments, and that will make up another 30% of your grade, and then there'll be quizzes, and you'll kind of see how things are weighted and the value of your grades based in that grade computation section. Then usually there'll be a course policies section. This could deal with attendance and tardiness, how instructors deal with late assignments. There could be an academic integrity policy. Now we see with the use of cell phones, how the instructor handles that. Some instructors will say, you know what, I don't really care if you're using your cell phone during class, if you're texting or using social media, as long as you're not talking on your phone and the ringer's not going off, doesn't bother me. Because if that's how you want to spend your money, that's how you're going to spend your money. However, other instructors will tell you, if I see your phone, I'm going to take it. Or various other things. I've seen a whole variety of, they may say, if I see your phone, I'm asking you to walk out of class because it's disrespectful to me as an instructor that you are spending your time on your phone. So make sure you're aware of any of those policies that the instructor puts in the syllabus. Now, these are general sections that are often found in a syllabus. The title of these sections could very much change, but essentially have the same purpose, just be named something differently. You could also see some additional areas like a course calendar, where you would see specifically when things are due. Often that's a pretty common thing in a syllabus that will show you exactly when all of your assignments are going to be due, when all of your quizzes and tests are going to be, providing there's no hiccups in the schedule. There could be a complete section for the attendance policy. Also, university policies tend to show up in a syllabus. So maybe the university has an academic integrity policy that they want in every single syllabus. That will show up. I'm trying to think. I've seen a variety of university policies in syllabus or in a syllabi. But that will just be something that the university says every syllabus that is given to a student, no matter what the course, we want this known that this is where our university or college stands on this subject matter. So those are the main areas that you will want to look for in a syllabus. Again, you want to keep that syllabus someplace where you can access it easily, because your grade computation, your grading criteria, it has that course calendar. That's going to be crucial to you as a college student. However, I highly suggest, especially if it has a course calendar, after you get your syllabus, go through your planner and write all those important dates down so that you never miss anything. So if you happen to not look at your syllabus for the week, you're still seeing it in your planner. All right, now we're going to talk about adapting to your new schedule. So we've talked about the fact that your schedule is very different. You may not be going to class at 8 a.m. You're definitely not going to be in class for 7 hours a day anymore. It's a very different lifestyle, and I'm guessing it probably won't take a lot to adapt to, because it feels very freeing when you go to college. However, it becomes so freeing that it becomes a little bit too free. It's easy to adapt bad habits. So it's very important that when you are in your first month or two of college, that you create those positive habits and stick with those right off the bat. So I've mentioned this in past videos, but I want to reiterate it, that when you are in college, because you are spending less time in the classroom, you need to be spending more time on your own studying. So the standard rule of thumb is that for every hour you spend in the classroom in college, you should be spending 2 to 3 hours studying outside of that classroom. So this means if you are taking 15 credit hours, that means you're spending 15 hours in the classroom per week. You should be spending 30 to 45 hours per week studying. Whoever said college wasn't a full-time job was completely wrong. College is very much a full-time job. So you will definitely have a full schedule if you follow this policy or this rule of thumb. So don't be surprised if you take my suggestion and write down the times you're going to be studying for different classes, your calendar is going to look really full. However, you're going to do much better in your courses than your peers if you spend those actual 30 to 45 hours per week in class, or per week studying because of your 15 hours in class. Many students do not follow this rule of thumb. I will tell you that. The reason this is a rule is because this is what they've found to be how students best succeed. Students that don't utilize this don't succeed as well. They might get okay grades occasionally, but the students who are looking to get good grades in college need to devote the time. So how do you use your time wisely? Well, when you have those breaks in your schedule, that's when you really need to use your time wisely. So study between your classes. If you have a break If you have a late class time, you don't have class till 1 p.m. one day, use that use that time to study. If you have a 4-hour break between classes, use that time to study. It's so easy. I know it. Yeah, I just know how easy it is to go back to your dorm, take a nap, play video games, go hang out with friends. But it's an important thing to utilize that time. Go to the library or go to an academic building where you can focus on your schoolwork. A good way to do this is to join a study group, people that keep you in line. So join a study group. If you don't have a study group, create a study group. Find some people who are just as motivated as you in your classes and ask if you can meet a couple times a week. Go over your notes, quiz each other on what's going on, talk about assignments, make plans just to spend time together before tests so that you are all prepared for that. A couple other things you can do. I did not put utilizing your time for mental health and physical health. That is a good thing to do during your time off. Find that balance between school and your personal life, and go to the gym or take care of yourself by doing something for your mental health. Also, it's a good time to use your work study hours. If you have been granted a work study position, then go ahead and use those hours between classes, after classes, etc. Especially if you have a large span of time that you can knock out some of those hours together. Some of the best jobs on campus when it comes time, if you have the ability to pick, some of the best jobs on campus are places like bookstores and libraries, because when you are not working, they often let you do your homework. So if you have the ability to choose which job you're going to get, kind of mull through that list to see, hey, which places will be most likely to allow me to do homework when they don't have jobs for me. Because that will be basically, then you will have the ability to get paid to do your schoolwork. And that's a great feeling. So those are some great ways to use your time wisely in college. Study between classes, join a study group, and use your work study time. Please complete this week's Shifting Gears by Friday at 5 p.m. Shifting Gears from High School to College is brought to you by TRIO Pre-College Programs, which consists of TRIO Talent Search and Upward Bound. Visit QAnatrio.org for additional resources. QAnatrio.org has many resources for high school seniors, all the way down to middle school students. It's a great place just to catch up on all the things that are going on with TRIO, but also college prep. TRIO Pre-College Programs, which consists of Talent Search and Upward Bound, are 100% funded through the U.S. Department of Education and proudly hosted by Finlandia University.